Here's a look at today's top stories as we have new information into our newsroom this morning. Booking records from the Sedgwick County Jail show Peter and Jeffrey McKinney were arrested in connection with yesterday's deadly shooting near Douglas and Rock. Peter McKinney booked on suspicion of second-degree murder. Jeffrey McKinney faces charges including criminal possession of a firearm by a felon. Police identified the victim as Sebastian Crawford and say he was shot during an argument.
Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 5 hurricane. It's the earliest of that strength on record in the Atlantic. For now, its eye is in fairly open waters of the Caribbean Sea. It's expected to impact Haiti and the Dominican Republic beginning today and could eventually hit Mexico.
And Air Europea flight from Madrid to Uruguay was diverted to a Brazilian airport after hitting severe turbulence, leaving 30 passengers having to be taken to the hospital for treatment. The accident happened aboard a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. A second plane was set to depart from Madrid later to pick up the passengers and continue that trip to Uruguay.